If you're not sure whether you're tax compliant, the uncertainty and confusion of that is usually the worst part. The good news is this: you don't need to speculate or wait for SARS to tell you. You can check your tax compliance status deliberately and calmly if you know what to look for. Compliance is not emotional, it's verifiable. And in this video, I'm going to give you a 3-step process on how to check your compliance with SARS. The first step is registration. The question you need to ask yourself is, what does SARS believe I should be registered for? Or what am I required to register for? This will include income tax, provisional tax, VAT, dividend tax, or any other tax that applies to you or your business. Remember, if you're missing a registration, your compliance is already broken. Everything flows from your registration. So if you're not registered for any tax, even if nothing else goes wrong, you are already non-compliant and run the risk of incurring penalties. Step number 2, check your submission status. You need to check which returns are outstanding, which have been submitted, and whether there are any gaps across the years. One missing return means you're non-compliant, even if every other return is filed. Step number 3, look for alignment, not just activity. So this is going to be one of the most important steps you do in checking your compliance, because you may have submitted returns with SARS, but the information in those returns does not align with SARS already knows about you. Remember, banks, employers, investment companies, medical aid schemes, they all report your data to SARS. In addition, SARS has been using AI and advanced analytics to gather data from other third-party sources to create a profile on you. So that profile needs to match what you have on record. So ask yourself this: if SARS were to ask you about something you did 2 years ago, do you have the records to support your position? So here's an extra tip. For those of you who work with tax practitioners, it's important that every time you interact with your tax practitioner, you get the right document. Typically, if they've filed anything, you will get an assessment. If they've registered something, you'll get a notice of registration. Make sure that after each and every interaction, you receive the requisite document. I've had clients come in with penalties that accumulated over 2-3 years because they thought that the tax practitioner handled it. So what had happened was the return was rejected when the tax practitioner submitted it. It was rejected due to a tax directive on the account. And because of this, there were penalties that were racked up for a 2-year period. So it's important to make sure when you're checking, you get the right documents after everything you check. So let's recap. How do you know that you're compliant? You need to make sure that all your registrations are done, that you are required to do. If you don't register for a tax, it doesn't mean SARS doesn't collect information on it, and you will start getting penalties even if you have not registered. Number 2, make sure that all your returns are submitted. Look through all the years and make sure that you're not missing a single month or a single year. If there are any returns that were rejected, you attend to it as soon as possible. And number 3, make sure that your records tell a consistent story. The story of your numbers is very important because that is how SARS will assess and flag your account if there's anything that looks off or that's inconsistent on your records. So here's a bonus tip. Once you've checked on all your returns and you made sure your returns are up to date, get a statement of account. So let's say it's your income tax. You'll get an income tax statement of account where you'll be able to see if there's anything outstanding. And in addition, you need to check the admin penalty statement of account, which can be separate. If there were penalties that were levied on your account, they may not show up on your income tax statement of account. They will show up on your admin penalty statement of account. So for some people, you'll be compliant with everything and you think you're good, but there are penalties that are still sitting there because of a late submission or whatever the case is. So check your statements of account. They give you an overview of what has happened on your account. So let's take a step back. Remember, if you're not compliant, the first step isn't to start paying immediately. The first step is to assess what's going on, what issues need to be attended to, understand what's your risk, how much you need to pay, and what the game plan is. So to help you in that process, we created a free tax compliance assessment for you to take and complete and get a good picture of where your risks lie. Once you've taken that assessment, we can set up a call to discuss a game plan for you and your business. I'll see you guys in the next video.